played professional baseball for years because of this. When the people started coming from Europe to here, the Irish Catholic had to live in an Irish Catholic neighborhood. You know, we talk about the religion, how crazy it is now. I remember the time in Boston, you wouldn't dare say you was Irish Catholic in a certain area. You would be stomped when the Jews came over. And you see, we forget the Mormons because they rich. We forget what happened to Smith and them. The Mormons wasn't created in Utah. It was in Illinois. And the Christians ran them out, killing them. And the reason they're alive today, they ran into Utah, and the Christians say, I'm a Christian. They all leave them alone. Ain't nothing there. They didn't know nothing about minerals and research. And so when you stop and think about how vicious we have been down through the years, and those of you, when I listen to people talk about September 11th, I say, go up on the Indian reservation and tell them they didn't wipe out towers. They wiped out whole villages.
Well, Mr. Gregory, we're almost out of time, but specifically, though, on the issue of eugenics, you're absolutely right that more than half the black people since Roe v. Wade that are conceived are never born, but we don't see anybody, Jesse Jackson, or any of these people ever talking about it. I don't hear the NAACP talking about it. You know, if the cops kill a black youth, sometimes because they had to, sometimes because they're, you know, the police are out of control, there's a huge big event about it. But then if I was a black leader, I mean, I'm just a human, so I'm warning black folks about this, but I'm warning everybody because it's happening to everyone, but it's specifically targeting blacks. I mean, why don't I see more black leaders talking about that?
Well, wait a minute. Let me back up a minute. When you see Alveda King, right?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever read about her in the New York Times?
I don't read the New York Times a lot, but...
Well, have you ever seen her on NBC? What I'm saying is there's a whole lot of black folks that are out there doing stuff. If it don't run in the paper that white folks read, it's like it don't happen.
I got you. So you're saying the leaders we're shown are the ones that are bought off. We're not seeing all the real folks.
Wait a minute. All black leaders is not bought off. A lot of people out here is doing the right thing for the wrong reason. And so as long as you're doing that, and finally, before we go off, let me just say this. If you look at a little flea can jump 24 inches. That's in their DNA. But they've done experiments where they take a flea and put it in an 18-inch jar with a top on it. And when that flea jumps up and its head hits the top, that flea is not aware it's in a jar. And after that head hits for so many times, you can take the lid off the jar and the flea won't jump beyond 18 inches, okay? And that flea trains its offsprings the same thing. So how long can we be put in a trick like we've been put in since slavery? And then
I got it. I mean, I'm not saying all black leaders. I'm talking about the really predominant ones they put out there. No, you're saying they've been put in a jar, so that's the only universe they know. They're inside a box.
That's all of us. Some of them know the trick that's going down. Some of them don't know the trick that's going down. But I'm saying what's happening today. You see, I survive on this country because I bypass all of that. I bypassed that. I said, well, you know, Jesse Jackson had something to do with killing King. Don't that bother you? I said, it don't seem to bother the King family. I mean, they get along with it. They can get along with it. But eventually all of it is going to come out. All of it is going to be this. You know, when you look at Jesse had one of the brilliant minds on the planet. Okay? One of the big horrors to me since Obama won, it messed up a myth in my head. See, I had been convinced that black folks thought all white folks thought all black folks look alike. I used to believe that until Obama became president. I haven't had one white person walk up to me and say, "Excuse me, Mr. President."
What do you, in closing, I mean, clearly Obama was financed by the same folks, and it's just being used as a way to divide people. They claimed it would bring unity. What's your brief take on Obama?
Well, let me put it this way. Right before Rome fell, they had a black emperor from Africa. You know, when you look at the odds...
Yeah, they had Africanus.
That's right. What is the odds that the first black president of the United States wouldn't have no slave genes? His mama wasn't a slave, his daddy wasn't no slave. Okay, but one of the things I'm looking at, there's a whole lot of white folk that's going crazy in America because there's a black man in the White House. Now, they want to say poor white folk, but I looked at it. I was invited to the inauguration. I didn't go. Secret Service called me and said, "Mr. Gregory, you on the VIP list for the Obama inauguration. What time can we pick you up? I said, are y'all the same Secret Service that was in Dallas when he got shot? I ain't heard no more from them at all. And so when you stop and think about...
You know what, Dick? I know you've got to go, but will you do one more 5-minute segment with us to finish up on this?
Sure.
This is incredible. I could talk to this guy all day. DickGregory.com is the website. Our sites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. And please remember, folks, that this entire radio show is supported by you when you support our sponsors and buy the books, the DVDs, the T-shirts, the materials at Infowars.com. Dick Gregory's our amazing guest. Let him finish up on President Obama on the other side. Stay with us.
Hounded by debt collectors with phone calls and letters? Thinking of calling a debt relief company? Don't. Greedy lawyers and debt companies charge thousands. Why pay when you can get their solution absolutely free with New York Times best-selling author Herb Kay's #1 debt secret, the how-to on stopping the calls without paying the debt companies. Yes, free for a very limited time. Here's Herb Kay.
Don't get ripped off by credit repair companies when I can give you the information you need to do it yourself for free.
Herb Kay was right. His free information helped me stop the calls and settle my debt.
What do you have to lose? Stop the calls now. Get out of debt and have more money. Get Herb Kay's #1 debt secret absolutely free now. Call 800-405-7850. That's 800-405-7850. 800-405-7850.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw of free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
Do you know someone who's a Constitution basher? Then here's the ammo you need to silence them once and for all. Introducing the Crash Course on the U.S. Constitution, how to argue with a liberal about constitutional issues and win every time. If you believe it's time we stop disgusting left-wing lies and start telling the truth about America's Christian heritage, this Crash Course for Patriots is for you. Start neutralizing the liberal propaganda being force-fed in our schools, the workplace, and the media. The Crash Course on the U.S. Constitution is an audio power program that includes 6 CDs jam-packed with amazing information, insights, and truth that will shut the mouth of any lie-loving liberal. Order your Crash Course on the U.S. Constitution online at thefoundersplan.com and look for the free bonus kit. Call today, 1-877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365, or go to thefoundersplan.com. For God's honest truth, go to thefoundersplan.com today.
Well, civil rights icon Dick Gregory is our guest. He's dropped bombshell after bombshell on us today. He says he's going to do a 2-year fast, basically. And he's famous for fast, or he doesn't take any solid foods. I guess that's why he's so healthy at 78. And I look forward to having him back up. He was bringing up some even bigger bombshells during the break, but he said, no, I'll talk about that on the next show. And it dealt with Obama. But we were getting into Obama, and you wouldn't go to his inauguration. I guess they wanted to use you to put you up there, somebody who's real. I mean, I knew with his advisors and the same people financing him that were financing McCain, I knew where this was going. Same thing with Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin. And the liberals want to be conned by Obama. The Republicans want to be conned by Glenn Beck. But more and more people are not getting conned. Dick Gregory.
Well, let me just say this here. When you stop and think about, look at this. Do you know what a Confederate flag looked like?
Sure.
Okay. And the Union won the war. When's the last time you seen a Union flag? Think about that. That's very serious. This is the first time a war was fight, and 99% of people don't know what the flag looked like that the winners had. They've been playing this game for a long, long time. And 13 is an unlucky number in America. No place else in the world is 13 an unlucky number. You know how many black folks believe 13 is an unlucky number? Why is 13 an unlucky number in America? Because it was the 13th Amendment that freed me. This is how this works, man. They've been playing games for so long, and until you can see it and feel it, I can't tell you enough what you mean to, you are the voice of America. People like you are the voice. And as long as you don't worry about what other people think about, because I went to a conference one day, some of the richest people in the world was there. Some of the most brilliant people. And I asked one question. Y'all are here from all over the world. Y'all got all the money you would ever want. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Make me a scab. When I cut my hand, a scab. You can make a nuclear bomb. You can travel from one planet to another, but you can't make a scab. Only the universal God can make a scab. And anybody who gets hurt or injured, it don't say did you go to Harvard, Yale, or Morehouse. It don't say how much money you got in the back. You got a scab coming. And once you reduce these thugs down to just model folks and know there's a universal order that protects you, that watches over you, and they ain't into no isms and osms. Look, you got a right hand and a left hand. For the next 2 weeks, put your right hand in your pocket and survive with your left. For the next 2 weeks after that, put your left hand in your pocket and survive with your right. Okay, is Queen Elizabeth left or right? The people who run the world don't play that. Queen Elizabeth, and I tell people all the time.
No, they control the full spectrum.
That's right. And once people realize white ain't a color, it's an attitude. And if you ain't got some trillions of in the bank, you can't have the attitude. And so Hitler didn't declare war on Africa. World War I, but on Africa, it was Hitler jumped on white folks. They didn't make a nuclear bomb to drop on Africa. And when people start realizing that and start understanding that, and so
no, exactly. You've got the tiny ultra elite waging war against everybody else, but they play the subgroups off against each other because the controllers are so small, they're weak unless they can play us off against each other.
That's right. And that's why they can never admit if they found somebody from another planet. They couldn't admit it. Why? If we admitted there was somebody else, white supremacy go out the window, organized religion go out the window, and the third one, which is worse than all, we become earthlings. There wouldn't be a Chicago or a Texas or Ohio or Germany. We would be earth people.
Where do you see in closing Obama's destiny ending?
Well, it's very hard to see. Remember,
I'm worried about Obama being the false flag. I'm wondering. I'm thinking they're going to use some nut to kill him as a way to really divide people.
No. Trust me. They were. Look, when you groom something, you don't take it out. And let me tell you. And if whoever kills the president of the United States will not be a nut. Please believe me.
No, I agree, but I'm saying they would claim that. No, I mean, I see the point you're making. So Kennedy was rogue, MLK was rogue. I mean, they go after who they don't control.
Yeah, and if you look at this guy who had your name, Jones, down in Florida, if we really stupid enough to believe that this little upstart punk that got a church with 30 people, name can become a household word in 24 hours, and the government's not behind that, then we all stupid.
Well, it's now come out, confirmed that the Ground Zero Mosque is CIA funded to get everybody fighting.